Hello, my crafty friends. I am coming to you with I don't know how long this video will be. It was supposed to be real short, but I planned all this one out because I do most of my stuff digitally now. And at this point, my computer shut down on me during a power outage. And you know what? I told myself like over and over again, you know what? You probably should save that just in case your computer shuts down for some reason. I was like, oh no, I'll be fine. And yeah, well, look at me now. So we are actually going to skip. I only have up to the end of, right to the beginning of May done pretty much. But we're going to skip right ahead and start. See all of this? I have all of this printed out and cut out, and hopefully I can remember somewhat of how I had this done. But anyways, we're going to skip right to the beginning of July, and then I'll just go back and try and work on May and June. So I'm about 3 months behind at this point because it is August 2nd. So, all right. So I'm going to walk you guys kind of through this. I know a little bit on how this was going. This is the first 2 weeks in July, actually. Okay. Yep. So here's that. Yeah, this is the first 2 weeks of July. And if you've been following for a little bit now, you will know that I'm kind of doing project life at this point in more of a story-based way, I guess you would say. It's kind of different. So we started July actually in traveling back from Myrtle Beach after a baseball tournament. So that was, so July 1st. So this will be my opening page for July. This will be the back page for July 2nd because we were traveling home. So we were like in the Virginia area. I have like a little card here, and then we're going to start off because then we're going to start off the week, I believe. Let me go back to July. Yeah, because then the 3rd, like we were recouping pretty much. We got in at like 2 a.m. in the morning. So then we're going to start off the first week, which would be the 4th through the 10th, pretty much. So yeah, so I'm not really too much doing just plain weeks anymore. Like I said, I'm really on this like transition point of doing like stories, but really don't know how I'm kind of like putting stories in here. If it's going to be like a family album, like there's obviously a lot of weeks in here that actually have like project life weeks, but then there is tons of inserts also in here, like, ooh, goodness, it's getting stuck. Like Easter, I've done it like that, or a big picture like this. Let me make sure I'm even on the screen. Ooh, barely. Yeah. So a big, I do have a printer that would print this big, but it's not in my house. Maybe I'm going to do that tomorrow, is try and see if that printer even works anymore. Let's see if I can get bigger pictures. But yeah, I do it like a pretty big picture. I think that's 11. So, because I can do 8 by 11s. But yeah, tons and tons of inserts. I'm loving how the inserts look. And then just like mini stories sometimes in here. And I all started that pretty much in March. So all of April is kind of full with that. And then obviously May, June, and now July will be like that. So, all right, so let's get started. I'm going to put you like on fast forward and do the voiceover of all of this. Like I said, it is all planned out, so hopefully it comes together pretty quickly. It's just if I can remember how I planned it all out, since I don't have it in Photoshop anymore. So let's start trying to put this together. All right, friends, as I am going through this footage and trying to see if this is even, like, postable, honestly, because it kind of goes into a mess. We're going to try and get through it. So what I am working on right now is just a regular insert, I'm sorry, not a regular insert, but a 6.85 by 8.25. So the regular, 6 by 8 insert, to signify that we were, like I was talking about, we were in North Carolina at this point. We were there for a rather large baseball tournament. It's called Cal Ripken. Some of you baseball people might know, or people that are around that area might know, because it, like I said, it's pretty large. And yeah, we had a blast. Amazing time at the beach. Our hotel was amazing. So this was just a family picture on the beach. And then the picture of the scenery in Virginia, actually, I believe, coming home, because on the way there, we drove through the night and we never got to see. We could feel the mountains and going up and down them, but we really couldn't see anything. So what I am doing, though, is putting this together for a space for that memories card, which is part of the 2018 travel collection, I believe. I believe it's 2018. It might be 19, one of the two. But yeah, so I have that card ready with some journaling there, and that is just going to go right on the side, and you're going to be able to pull it out and all that kind of stuff. So this album is a Studio Calico one, I believe, and so there isn't all of the... There's only 4 posts, pretty much, and they're not in the same spots as a 6 by 8, so you do have to punch them out a little bit differently, and I always forget, so good job on me for remembering this time, right? All right, so yeah, so everything at this point pretty much that I'm doing is digital. I really do need to go through my physical stuff that I do have and start using that again, but honestly, guys, I've just found it so much easier for me to get stuff done digitally, and then just print it out and scrapbook it like normal, pretty much. As you can see, I did use that Oh So Good, I believe, and I just printed that right out. I didn't feel like cutting it with my Cricut. I totally could have and made it textural and everything. But honestly, with Project Life, I am just trying to get these memories down. And this exact spread might go right back into the travel album. Well, no, it's not, because, I mean, I might use the same idea. But this file is gone, as that will be the story here in a minute with everything that went wrong with this. Anyways, as you heard before, I've lost all these not lost the files, but lost the ideas and the journaling and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, all right, there we go. Fitting it in. It was I think it was a little tight earlier, and I probably already... Oh, I cut down on the sides. That's what I was doing before. That's what it was. Cut down on the sides. So, I'm going to put this story... This is a story for July 4th, because that was the next day. And we just didn't have any plans. It's a very weird July 4th for us. And so I made just like a little insert, and I cannot remember how... Or even if I planned that right, I think I might have just totally forgot that about like how this is spacing. And I just don't know. And so yeah, that's where that is going to get a little crazy. I need to open this back up and kind of work through my issues with the spread. But anyways, this is a picture of my flowers. The day I got home, I was so excited that my flowers made it through a 10-day vacation. I actually set my flowers under our large gazebo and used a timer on our faucet outside. It was crazy how I had it set up, with a sprinkler that would come on in the morning and come on at night, so that it would water them all by themselves for 10 days while I was gone. And it worked, guys. It actually worked. And yeah, my flowers survived. So anyways, that was that. And actually, I just realized that I did use that. I used that marketing card again here for... Where did I use that at? Oh yeah, like directly after. Anyways, well, I just remember seeing that I use that marketing card twice in like 1 month in Project Life. It's okay. It's not going to, it's not going to end the world, right? I thought that I used it in 2021 and it's not. It was right there. Anyways. All right. So here is another insert. I think that this is how I had things planned because this was a pretty big event for my oldest. And pretty much I have been doing it this way is like if they have a big tournament, I kind of have been pulling it out from the rest of the story. So, but I have no idea how I had that planned out. And so I was like, okay, let's move on. I don't know how I'm doing this. The next week, so now this, I'm starting to like try and go into the next week. Again, I didn't have much pictures from this week, like I mentioned before, but this was the World Series in our state. And both boys were in the same tournament, just obviously different age groups. And this was a 4-day tournament that was more than an hour away. And most of our games were at like 8 a.m. in the morning. So it was a long 4 days, guys, of getting these boys to Canton, Michigan and back again the next day. It was a little grueling. So it was most of our days. And we didn't have much other to do. I would come home, I would wash uniforms, and we would head right back. So I just made a little insert out of that. I ended up doing the holes. You'll hear me talk about this later, but I ended up doing the holes backwards. I meant to have that family picture and then the pictures of the two boys on the back, but again, it doesn't really matter. Yep, there I am going shoot. But it doesn't really matter too much. So just using some of the chipboard pieces from the Awesome Story Kit. I wasn't going to put that down yet because I wasn't sure. So there you see me going, okay, so now what's next? And I was like, okay, so let's put the next, what is this? This is actually the first week. So I'm kind of going backwards again. So this was the first week of July, I believe. Yes, this is the first week of July because that is a picture of and a story about how my son was not happy with his coach too much because they pretty much got home right from Ripken and playing 2 games a day and obviously lots of traveling and lots of games to coming home and having to do another practice and then going right into the World Series. So they all wanted a little break, but he was like, nope, no breaks, going right into the next thing. So yeah, so this is just a little story about that. And the story is pretty much about how I was splitting up time between the 2 kids now that their seasons are overlapping and how I was sad that I was missing one kid's games and a bunch of other stuff. So just a little bit of a story. And then, yeah, on more early mornings. And then was this? No, this was his second to last turn. I was going to say this was ending my youngest son's season pretty much, except for the next week was going to be the end. So we were just kind of enjoying the last couple of games with his team and moving forward. But yeah, as you can see, I digitally erased the July out of this circle so that I could put the week of. And for me, I'm no longer putting numbers like week 26 or anything. That doesn't really pertain to me. The most it does is like let me keep track of the weeks for videos and everything. And yeah, that does get a little confusing sometimes, but I just look it up. It's no big deal. I am actually putting in the week of whatever the dates are at this point. So I think that's more important to me down the road than if it's week 26 or, that type of thing. So now just going through and realizing, oh, I need to date stamp the inserts from before just so that I know later on that these 2 were, the first and the second pretty much. Because I don't believe that I will be doing anything else for the first and the second because that will be a travel album. So, all right. So here I am just starting to put things in the inserts pretty much. And this is where I'm like, wait a minute, this was supposed to go on the back of the flowers that I did. So you're going to see me going like, oh crap, I'm messing everything up at this point. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in the end. It is what it is. But and it will all be okay, I swear. But you're going to hear it here soon where I'm like, I was absolutely confused at the point, and I think that I needed to just probably take a step back and look at everything, and that's what I'm going to do, honestly, today when I probably get off of from editing all of this, is go back to this week and look and see how everything is. And yep, see, here I am going, oh crap, I think this is supposed to be on the back of that insert. And just try and figure out what I was trying to do and how it's supposed to come together, or how I'm going to get it to come together now. So I have decided that I'll just keep this up because honestly, scrapbooking and projects and art projects don't always go as you plan them to go, even if you feel like you've planned them all out to a dime, and then your computer shuts down on you and you can't remember what you did, right? So all right, so I think at this point I'm going to, because this is where I'm like, where was this insert for July 4th even supposed to go at this point? But I'm going to push you back into real life for a minute, and then maybe I come back. So because I don't have the file, unfortunately, that I can go back on and look at, I'm a little misconstrued and cannot figure out exactly how I had this planned. And if I just had it planned wrong, because that could very well be a thing, honestly. But here is my first insert. And of course, I just gotta sometimes get these holes properly done, because this is only a 4. And so sometimes it's just a little wonky. So I just make my holes a little bit bigger so that fits better. There we go. Okay. So that is the first and the second, and that will go there. And then, like I said, I have this story, which is the 4th of July. So this is going to be an insert, which I just cannot figure out how I had. This is the one part. Oh, and I gotta punch holes here. This is the one part that I just cannot figure out how I exactly had this. And I'm just gonna have to probably fudge it a little bit and figure it out, honestly. Anyways, because I don't remember what I had on the back of this, or maybe I didn't even think about that. Honestly, that could be a whole thing. And so, that could be a whole thing that I just didn't even think about it. But I know that this page was like this, because I did have this. I knew that this was over here, and I was like, I need to use that. So yeah, so that's pretty much just starting out my July, but I don't know, it will all figure out. We will all figure it out. So it's no big deal. Like I said, I might have had it where, because this is a 6x9 layout, and I'm thinking maybe I had this as a regular piece of paper and just glued all of this to the regular piece of paper and just not had an insert. That might be what happens. When I go back, I probably will come back on here and just try and fix things, because I had another flupa. This insert is also supposed to go in here, because he had a huge tournament this week. Guys, I'm really confused here. I'm so mad that my Photoshop will not bring up the restored images. He had a big college exposure tournament this weekend. And so that was an insert, and I wanted to put his games. I must be missing one picture, and then I was going to put all of the the results of his game and his stats on a card. Or maybe I'll put it on maybe I had it like this. I'm thinking I almost had it like this, where I had one card here. Since there was so many games, that I was going to put like the Friday games here and the Saturday and Sunday games here. I can't remember. But I'll do that. Or I think like they only had one game per day or something like that this week. So Friday and Saturday, and then all the Sunday games here. I think. Okay. And then here was the last week, because like I said, I didn't have that many pictures from this week. So, because we were just exhausted. And then we go to the next week, which I'm wondering what then I did for the next week, which, because I don't have that many pictures. I don't have hardly any pictures. Actually, I don't have any pictures at all for the next week, except for baseball pictures, guys. Oh, and a little bit of weekend pictures, it looks like. No, yeah, a little bit of weekend pictures. So this is all messed up. I need to come back. I need to refocus. I'm going to put this in here. I ended up doing this one wrong too. I ended up putting the holes on the wrong side for this, but that's okay. It's no big deal. But yeah, our whole week was pretty much this World Series. It started on Thursday and went all the way to Sunday. So this was like a big part of our whole week. So that's where I'm at with those 2 weeks. So at least you got a little glimpse of putting it together. Like I said, I might come back in this video and show you the rest of it. But it's a good start to July. Like I said, July went by so fast. It was so much baseball coming off of vacation. And yeah, it's just out of control baseball. So